Breaking, Lil Scrappy and Bambi just turned the entire Love and Hip Hop reunion into a real-life episode of WWE Raw. And baby, this wasn't no scripted drama. Oh no, this was claws out, lashes flying, cameras rolling, and secrets spilling like cheap champagne at a VH1 rap party. Did y'all think they were just gonna hug it out backstage and pose for the "We're Still Cool" cast photo? Absolutely not. We talking backstage chaos so wild? Mona Scott probably passed out mid-contract. Somebody cue security? Because Bambi didn't just snap, she detonated? What if I told you Scrappy was caught whispering to someone not on payroll? What if I told you Bambi might have exposed a secret baby, a burner phone, and a whole other life Scrappy's been hiding like it's a side hustle? Would you believe me if I told you Mama D rolled in like a 2003 wrestling diva? Yelling about legacies and side chicks in front of interns, just trying to hold their coffee? This wasn't a fight, it was a full-blown scandal grenade. So before you even think about scrolling, sit down, grab your tea, and buckle up, because what just leaked backstage might burn down the whole Love and Hip Hop universe. Let's get into it. It all started like every other fake peaceful reunion day. Lashes glued on tight, producers pretending to care, and cast members acting like they didn't low-key hate each other. But behind the curtains, a war was already brewing. And the two stars center stage, none other than Lil Scrappy and Bambi, a couple that went from relationship goals to somebody call security real quick. They walked into the studio dressed for peace, but baby, they brought a whole arsenal of receipts, rage, and unprocessed trauma. It was like watching a romance novel crash into a reality show dumpster fire. Everybody thought they'd just sit on the couch and play the PR game, but no. Bambi didn't come for closure, she came for combustion. And Scrappy, he thought he could laugh his way through another scandal like he's done 100 times before. But this time, the woman across from him wasn't smiling. She was seething. It wasn't even 10 minutes into rehearsal when the first spark flew. A makeup artist said Bambi caught Scrappy whispering behind the dressing room curtain with someone saved in his phone as Big Bro. Now look, ain't nobody stupid. Bambi might have played nice before, but she'd been doing her homework. She saw the text bubbles. She saw the location pings. And let's not forget the receipts she'd been quietly stacking like Uno cards ready to shout, "Draw 4." Instead of confronting him right away, she waited, watched, smiled through the glam session like she wasn't planning emotional arson. Then, just when Scrappy leaned in for what he probably thought was a private moment, boom. Bambi snapped like a wig cap under pressure. Right in front of cast, crew, and 3 poor interns who just wanted to eat their catering plate in peace. Say it again, say it one more time, and I swear to God, your career ends on this floor tonight. That's what sources say, she yelled. Scrappy laughed it off, talking about "girl, you tripping." But baby, security didn't think it was funny. They saw the fire in her eyes and stepped in like this was a boxing match in heels. What started as side-eye turned into full-on verbal assault. Bambi wasn't holding back. She aired him out about secret bank cards, a side chick with new bundles every week, and hush money sent to accounts not even under his name. The room was spinning. Even Mona Scott looked like she wanted to fade into the shadows. Phones came out. Cast members weren't even pretending to hide them. Somebody whispered, "Did you hear what she said about the pregnancy?" And that was it. We weren't in Love and Hip Hop land anymore. We were in straight-up exposed territory. You ever seen a woman so calm, she's dangerous? That was Bambi. Her tone didn't rise. Eyes didn't blink. She stood there like she'd already lived through this betrayal 10 times over and was just reciting a monologue she'd memorized. Meanwhile, Scrappy started sweating, not because of the heat, not because of the lights, but because he knew something was about to hit the fan that even he couldn't charm his way out of. Bambi looked him dead in the face and said, "Tell me who she is, or I'll say it on that stage in front of everybody." Scrappy rolled his eyes, hit her with the classic "you always want drama" line, and that's when it happened. Water bottle flew. smashed the wall so hard it bounced and cracked Bambi's own phone screen. One of the stylists screamed. Someone else ducked, but Bambi didn't flinch. Rumor has it as sound tech saw what was going down and instead of running for help, hit record on a voice memo and slid the phone behind a wig box. Now we've got crisp audio of Bambi tearing Scrappy to shreds. She went in. You got our daughter? Thinking you Superman, but you can't keep your pants zipped for a week. You embarrassed me while I was fighting postpartum, and now you want to act like I'm crazy? Scrappy's voice dropped low. Keep your voice down before you mess up my bag. You've gone regret this. She laughed. Not just laughed. Laughed. The kind of laugh that lets you know all hell is about to break loose. I've been regretting you since the day you gave me that second ring, fool. Try me tonight. Try me. Word spread like wildfire. Cast members started poking their heads out. Spice whispered to Carly Red, "Girl, this better not ruin my segment." Safri was already texting somebody. "Yo, get your phone ready. They about to fight FR." Producers froze. They didn't want to get in the middle. If you stop Bambi, mid-raunch she might swing on you next. If you stop Scrappy, he might throw a fit and threaten to walk off set. So they did what producers always do when drama pays the bills, they let it cook. Then, as if this wasn't spicy enough, in Storm's Mama D, she came in like a reality TV linebacker, pushed past a poor intern, and started yelling. "You not gonna ruin my son's legacy, you little nobody?" Nobody even caught the rest because Bambi clapped back so fast it echoed. "Shut up. Decontrol your grown son before you bark at me. Ain't you tired of playing the old fool for a check?" The whole room stopped. You could see the water form. Behind Mama D's lashes, right under that crooked crown she insists on wearing, Scrappy, now furious, stepped forward like he was about to defend his mama, but Bambi squared up. Her body language said, "Try it." The energy in that hallway, pure chaos. Security finally pushed in between them. Not out of duty, out of survival. Meanwhile, nobody else tried to help. Why? Because every cast member was either filming or texting someone who was. You think they were trying to mediate? Please. Wanted to go viral too. Fans outside the studio said they heard yelling through the walls. One blogger posted a scratchy voice memo that caught Bambi's scream. "Say it with your chest, Scrappy. Tell them about your new baby." That's right, new baby. And just like that, Twitter exploded. Phones lit up like Times Square on New Year's Eve, and within minutes, Bambi's name was trending alongside Scrappy's, with fans screaming in disbelief, dropping side-by-side screenshots and calling out every blurred face they thought might be the alleged baby mama. Meanwhile, backstage was a whole circus. Bambi stormed off with the energy of a woman who just got done being silent for too long. She didn't even wait to get to the green room. She pulled her phone out right there. In the hallway, flipped the camera and hit go live like she was clocking in for war. No filter, no glam, just raw rage. Her face was tight, voice low but slicing, and her eyes cold as ice. "Y'all want to know the real Scrappy? Sit down." That's all she said before unleashing a digital storm. She brought up the rent being late while his side chick got new bundles every Friday. She talked about therapy sessions she begged for, only to get laughed at. She described how she cried alone postpartum while Scrappy ghosted her for the studio, and studio wasn't even a studio half the time. It was a front for whatever mess he was pulling behind her back. The comments flooded in, fans dropping shocked emojis, fire emojis, eyes wide open. People were screen recording in real time, reposting her live faster than it was streaming. Inside the building, cast members ran to their phones like high schoolers ducking into the bathroom during finals. Spice gasped. She really went live. Carly Red, smiling like the drama just funded her next filler appointment. And Scrappy. He was still in the dressing room, sitting beside Mama D, who was sweating like she'd run a marathon through her own lies. When his phone buzzed, he grabbed it, already annoyed, already defensive. probably thinking it was just another messy group chat. But when he opened it and saw his own face being called out by the woman he swore was done, something in him cracked. Witnesses say he flung the phone so hard it bounced off the wall and nearly hit a producer. Mama D jumped up, screaming, "She trying to ruin you, baby." Shut it down before she tells them about, and stopped herself mid-sentence. Scrappy's head snapped to her so fast the tension in the room could have cut glass. "Tell them." "About what, Ma?" But Mama D just fanned herself harder and mumbled about needing her water. His phone was still going crazy, notifications piling up, fan pages reposting every second of Bambi's meltdown. And this wasn't some impulsive tantrum. Oh no, Bambi knew exactly what she was doing. She was strategic, calculated. This wasn't revenge. This was demolition. She stood in that hallway like it was her final scene and waved her phone in Scrappy's direction as he finally stormed out of his dressing room. "You mad? Come say it on camera. Tough guy." She dared him, voice dripping in venom. Everyone nearby fell silent, holding their breath and their phones, waiting to see what Scrappy would do. And he didn't disappoint. He pointed his finger right in her face, almost close enough to poke her eye, and hissed, "You gonna regret this, Bambi? I got messages too. You ain't clean. I'll leak it all." Bambi didn't blink. She laughed that hollow, broken laugh that makes the air feel cold. "Try me, Scrappy. They've been trying to cancel me for years. Ain't worked yet, but this right here. Your funeral?" One poor crew member tried to play peacemaker, arms spread wide like he was breaking up to kids at recess, mumbling, "Guys, please. You're both under contract. No fighting. On live. Please, let's talk." Bambi cut him off. "Sue me then. The H1 been flopping since Joe's line left. I'm the reason y'all still get views. I take all my receipts to Zeus and make double dragging him for filth." Somewhere in the back, Carly Red whispered, "She's not bluffing." Zeus would give her a spin-off tomorrow. Twitter exploded again. Fan pages split into teams. TikTok flooded with side-by-side edits of Scrappy looking guilty and Bambi looking like she'd been carrying this weight for years. One YouTuber posted a video titled, "Bambi says Scrappy got a secret." Baby monetized it and hit 30K views before the hour was up. Meanwhile, inside the reunion building, chaos ruled. Cast members were arguing over whether to stay or leave, but most stayed just to make sure they were in frame for the next mess. Scrappy finally looked at security and said, "Y'all gonna remove her or what?" Security shrugged. "Do you want us to carry her out on live? You trying to get sued? Nobody touched Bambi? Not a soul." She was untouchable in that moment. A queen in meltdown mode, backed by 40,000 live viewers and climbing. When she finally cut the live feed, people were left staring at a black screen, still flooding with comments. Where's the rest? Did he hit her? Did she say baby mama? She tucked her phone away, leaned into Scrappy's face, and whispered something that only he was supposed to hear, but a hot mic caught it anyway. "Next time you lie to me, I'm posting your burner account receipts too. Try me." Then she spun on her heel and walked off like a villain in a telenovela. Scrappy stood there shaking, fists clenched, heart racing, surrounded by people fake comforting him with one hand and recording him with the other. And if you thought it would die down after that? Oh, baby. You don't know how reality TV works. This wasn't a finale. This was the prequel. Because while Bambi was walking out of that building, she was already on her phone again. But this time, she wasn't going live. She was calling her lawyer. Witnesses say she skipped the small talk and got straight to it. Pull everything, every transfer, every hotel, every dollar he spent on that girl. And I mean all of it. I want receipts from 2019 till now. Lawyer probably popped champagne. Meanwhile, back inside, Scrappy was in full meltdown mode, pacing, grabbing his chain, ranting at Mona's assistant like it was her fault his life was falling apart on camera. You gonna air this? You're trying to make me look like the bad guy? I made this show." The assistant blinked like a deer in headlights. "Sir, the footage is owned by VH1. I don't control what airs." It just made him madder. He turned to Mama D, who, by this point, had drained half the bottle of whatever she smuggled in her purse and went live again from her cracked Android, slurring into the camera. "My son ain't perfect, but Bambi be playing, y'all. One texting her exes on them brand trips. Y'all don't see that side?" Her comments blew up instantly. One fan wrote, "Queen spilling tea with a crooked crown," while another said, "She drunk, but she right. But Bambi." She wasn't watching any of it. She was 3 steps ahead. And the next bomb, already ticking. Bambi didn't waste a second. The moment she left the building, she was already in motion. Her lawyer wasn't the only one getting a call that night. Her manager got one too. She didn't even say hello. She just said, "Line up an exclusive. No VH1, just me. No edits." And by the time the sun was thinking about rising, rumors were already spreading like wildfire that Bambi was about to break the internet. A blurry photo leaked online showing her sitting in a black hoodie. No makeup, no glam, just raw and dangerous. With the caption, "She's ready to tell it all. Premiere tomorrow." Meanwhile, Scrappy was losing his mind. His so-called team, made up of stressed-out assistants and a PR manager who looked like she hadn't slept in 48 hours, was scrambling. They were yelling about takedown notices, defamation, claims, NDAs, anything to try and put a lid on the mess. But it was too late. The clips were everywhere. One edit even slowed down Bambi's voice and layered it over a Metro Boomin beat. 2 million views in under an hour. People weren't just watching, they were analyzing. Fans pointed out the exact second Scrappy flinched, when Mama D faked her cough to avoid answering, when Carly Red peeked from the corner with her phone tilted just right. VH1 was in full crisis mode. Some producers were ready to scrap the reunion altogether, but others smelled gold. Ratings gold. A few even suggested turning the entire meltdown into a special called Love and Hip Hop, Uncensored Mayhem. Mona Scott allegedly sent a text that night to her inner circle saying, "If they want to sue each other, fine, but make sure it's on camera. Bring security, bring lawyers, but get the footage." While they were plotting profit, Scrappy was plotting revenge. He locked himself in a trailer, eyes red, pacing, talking to anyone who'd listen. "They want me to drown. Fine, but I'm taking her down with me." And just like that, an anonymous Twitter account posted screenshots claiming Bambi had been sliding into an old ex's DMs while married. One of the messages read, "You always made me feel seen. He never does." Whether it was real or not didn't matter. The internet devoured it. People started switching sides, doubting her story, asking if maybe Scrappy wasn't the only one with skeletons in the closet. But Bambi didn't flinch. That podcast dropped like a nuclear bomb. Tens of thousands tuned in live. Bambi sat across from a host who didn't interrupt once. Her voice didn't crack. She didn't cry. She spoke slow, with purpose, like she wanted every single word to land. "Yes, I snapped. Yes, I cursed him out. But what y'all don't know is I've been holding this pain in for years. I begged him for help. I begged him to care. He told me I needed therapy while he ran the streets, calling himself a king." Fans flooded the chat calling her a queen, saying she was too real for the show, demanding that Zeus give her a spin-off immediately. And just when things felt like they couldn't spiral further, Mama D went live again, of course. In the middle of Bambi's interview, with her Wi-Fi lagging, she shouted into the camera, "She lying. My son is a king. Messy, but a king." Fans laughed, but nobody took her seriously anymore. Not after she switched teams mid-episode, like she forgot which child she was defending. Scrappy, desperate to reclaim his image, dropped a freestyle. On his Instagram, no beat. Just him, angry, out of breath, muttering bars like they painted me a villain while I carried this building. Fans weren't kind. The comments were brutal. Someone even mashed the freestyle with clips of Bambi yelling and titled it "The Saga Continues." Meanwhile, Mona Scott wasn't wasting time. She called both teams, pulled every string she had, and offered them what she called the biggest check you've seen since season 1. An exclusive sit-down, no edits. Just cameras, tension, and cold water bottles nobody would touch. Both sides agreed. Not because they were ready to talk, but because drama pays, and both of them were broke enough to show up for the bag. The studio was locked down tighter than a crime scene. Security at every door, backup mics everywhere. The host whispered, "Ready?" and both nodded. Bambi didn't look at him once. Scrappy stared at her like she was the love of his life and the devil in disguise at the same time. What happened next was so raw. Producers said it may never air fully. Bambi brought a thick manila envelope of receipts. Scrappy brought a backup phone full of old clips. Halfway through, Mama D tried to break into the studio screaming, "Y'all gonna hear me too?" But nobody opened the door. When the lights finally dimmed, when it was all over, Bambi walked out without a word. Head high, lips tight, phone in hand. She posted a photo with the caption, "Closure looks good on me." Scrappy didn't leave. With her, he stayed back, alone, posted a story at 4 a.m. that just read, "Truth hurts. Lies ruin lives. Pray for your boy." And people did pray, but not before they dissected every detail, every receipt, every blink in the footage. Because this wasn't just a breakup. This was an implosion. And it's not done. Bambi's team's already teasing part 2 of the podcast. Scrappy's crew is threatening to drop voice notes. Mama D, God help us, is reportedly pitching her own documentary. So, you think this fight was the end? Baby, this was just the beginning. And if you thought what leaked so far was wild, wait till the next bomb drops. Because there's a name nobody said yet. A woman whose identity has been kept under wraps, but sources say she's coming forward. And when she does, this entire franchise might not survive the fallout. Better stay locked in. Because the second that name hits the internet, we'll be right here, breaking it down frame by frame, word by word, lie by lie. This isn't a reunion anymore. It's a reality reckoning. And baby, it's just getting started. So after all that, chaos, receipts, live meltdowns, and backroom brawls, tell me, who you riding with? Are you Team Bambi, the no-nonsense queen who finally snapped and aired out every lie Scrappy ever tried to bury? Or are you riding with Scrappy, claiming he just got caught in a web of twisted narratives and emotional explosions? And let's not even act like Mama D didn't insert herself into this drama. Like she was auditioning for her own spinoff. Was she defending her son or stirring the pot to stay relevant? One thing's for sure. This isn't over. The next leak, the next live, the next shocking twist is just around the corner. So don't even think about closing that app. Hit that like button if your jaw dropped at least once. Drop a comment below and let me know whose side you're really on. And if you want every juicy update before it hits the blogs, make sure you subscribe and smash that notification bell, like Bambi smashed Scrappy's image in 15 minutes flat. This is the tea they don't want you to sip, but baby, we pouring it by the gallon. Stay locked in because the drama, it's only just begun.